you have negative self-talk, and I find that it doesn't manifest results because I'm like, I've got to do this because I've gotten so fat, and so that your body hears that and it continues to manifest those results for you. Whereas if you're like, you know, oh my God, I love moving my body in this way, and like repeat affirmations to yourself while you're doing the thing. So while you're nourishing your body, like, you know, I love this food and I love myself and I deserve this, and these strawberries taste so good, and you know, they've really, like, you know, when you say those things to yourself, then your body actually starts to respond, your skin starts to respond, it starts, you know, vibrating with this life force energy. Like, I notice it when I'm taking care of myself, because I always have a camera on my face and on my body. I notice that when I'm really taking care of myself and really loving myself and in a good place emotionally, my body and my face start to look awesome. Okay, so if you watched the last video, then you'll know that today, which is the same day, I am talking about beauty, because this came up in a couple of different sessions that I had with clients over the last couple of weeks, and I think it's a wound that many women carry, even women who are considered beautiful according to societal standards. You know, those of you who know me know that I've been a model for 15 years. A lot of my friends are models. All my friends are models. Not really. Like, I have a lot of model friends, and I also scout models as well now, and I've done that for a couple of years. And I can tell you that models are some of the most insecure women I have ever met, because when your job is to be professionally good looking, nobody's perfect, right? No models are perfect. So instead of just, you know, people think that models would be so arrogant because they're constantly being told how beautiful they are. Like, we're supposed to be beautiful, that's our job. So we stop hearing that, and then all we start to hear is what's wrong with us. Oh, you know, maybe we should give her some heels because she's not that tall, or oh, the dress is a bit tight, and she's like, oh my God. And you're always comparing yourself to other models. So, you know, if you're a bit curvier, or your hips are a bit bigger, or whatever it is, or you've got one eye that's higher than the other, then that's all you're going to see in your photos, and it can really, really destroy, especially because a lot of models are very young, can really destroy their confidence, especially when, you know, every model goes through periods where they're quiet and they're not booking as much work. So that's when they'll really start to feel like, oh my God, I'm not good enough, and all of that stuff. So trust and believe that all women go through it. So if you're struggling with this, you are definitely not alone. You know, I don't know a single woman on the planet that doesn't feel like they're not good enough or they're not beautiful enough. But I also want to challenge the misconception that beauty is only about how you look, because it isn't. Not saying that it isn't at all. I'm just saying that it's just a part of the equation. So how you look, you know, how your features are placed on your face, and the ratios, and whether they conform to, you know, the pi, the golden ratio standard, whether your body is proportional and, you know, shapely and healthy. Not saying those things aren't important, because they are, and they definitely play a role in how we perceive beauty. But they're only one. I don't want to say, I don't want to quantify it by saying it's one half of the equation, because it may not be, but definitely beauty is an energy. Okay, it's an attitude, and I've seen this time and again with the models that I scout, or, you know, when I go to castings. You know, you'll see sometimes, you know, you'll see somebody who's like objectively really beautiful, but if, you know, let's say for example, so many times I've been in a casting room where everybody's queuing around the outside of the room, and the casting table is in the middle of the room where the client sat, and then each model, when it's their turn, will kind of walk up and go and chat to the client. They'll look through their book, have a quick conversation, and you can see very quickly which are the ones that are more likely to book the job. And it's not based on how they look and how tall they are and, you know, the size of their hips. Not always anyway, it depends on what the client's requirements are. But for a lot of jobs, like let's say it's an editorial job, or it's a hair job, or it's a TV commercial where the model's sizes and measurements aren't the most important thing, you'll see that the models that have a certain confidence and a grace, and a certain attitude, will be the ones that make the client sit up and take notice. And it comes with how you feel about yourself. It's obviously not only about how you feel about yourself, it's also various other things, like, you know, it can even go into like characteristics that you've inherited from other lifetimes that are kind of have been brought through in your unique soul signature, because everybody has a unique soul signature, right? You know, some people are very soft and, you know, feminine and flowy and poetic, and other people are kind of stronger and more fierce and all of that stuff. And some of it is wounding, you know, because a lot of the time women will carry this like masculinized shell that will make them seem really like authoritative and like a badass and masculine, but that can sometimes just be because of like wounding and trauma, that they've got that masculine shell in order to keep themselves safe, and underneath they're actually like much more soft and gooey and sensitive, and they don't show that to that many people. So when you heal that, you can actually bring that softer side out of you. But you know, it's a lot of it is about how you feel about yourself. So if you feel confident about yourself, if you feel beautiful, if you feel like you're the fucking shit, like, that is going to translate to how other people read you. How you feel about yourself gets photocopied and mirrored back to you by the way that other people treat you. Okay, so if you feel like, you know, confident in yourself and you're not to be messed with, people will know not to mess with you. And I've learned this from, you know, when I started out in the industry, I was so green and I was so unsure of myself, and I got fucking taken for a ride. You know, I didn't know how to stand up for myself, so I was constantly tested. And after a certain amount of time, people don't fucking try half the shit that they used to try with me when I was younger, because I give the attitude, they can just feel it in my field, that they're not going to get away with that, that's not going to wash with them. Like, you know, just all kinds of things. Like, for example, like, you know, a stylist would not ask me to get changed in front. I mean, this is partly also because of the Me Too movement, but they used to make us get changed, you know, in the room in front of everybody, no private changing area. Sometimes they would even ask us to get changed on the street if you were shooting on location. That doesn't really happen so much anymore, because, you know, collectively so many women have healed those wounds and started standing up for themselves, and that's what we saw with the Me Too movement. But yeah, it's an energy, and I really truly believe that, like, you know, most women can be, you know, however, if you want to put a number on it, a 7, 8, 9 or 10 in terms of, you know, how attractive or beautiful she is, if she starts to be really, really loving to herself and treats herself well. When you treat yourself well, when you really love yourself, you take care of your temple, because that's your vehicle for experiencing the world. I don't feel that good about myself when I'm not in shape, and I haven't been working out regularly, and when I haven't been feeding myself really healthy, abundant, you know, vibrant food full of like really good life force. You know, I feel bad about myself because I know that I haven't really been loving myself. I haven't been treating myself that well if I haven't been regularly moving my body and feeding my body with like the foods that it really, really responds well to, which for me is a plant-based vegan diet full of fruits and vegetables and high vibe foods, and, you know, minimizing like processed foods and things like that. Yeah, so I don't feel as confident because I know I haven't been loving myself. I've been putting my energy on things other than myself. So if you want to really, really feel beautiful, you have to start loving yourself, and not just loving yourself as in like a feeling, because, you know, how do you do that if you don't? Do you know what I mean? You fall in love with yourself through small little actions every day, where you show yourself how you feel about yourself by, you know, choosing the healthy food, by moving your body in ways that feel good to you, not by punishing it, by killing yourself in the gym for like an hour every day when you've gone like from not moving it at all. You know, you start off slowly, you be gentle with the body, you know, maybe if you love dancing, then dance. If you love going for walks in nature, do that. Like, you know, that's what loving yourself is, and your body will respond to that. Like when I do things that my body enjoys doing, like surfing, dancing, walking, it responds really well. I do like working out as well, but when I start working out because I feel bad about myself and I start putting my body through punishing routines, you have negative self-talk, and I find that it doesn't manifest results because I'm like, I've got to do this because I've gotten so fat, and so that your body hears that and it continues to manifest those results for you. Whereas if you're like, you know, oh my God, I love moving my body in this way, and like repeat affirmations to yourself while you're doing the thing. So while you're nourishing your body, like, you know, I love this food and I love myself and I deserve this, and these strawberries taste so good, and, you know, they've really, like, you know, when you say those things to yourself, then your body actually starts to respond, your skin starts to respond, it starts, you know, vibrating with this life force energy. Like I notice it when I'm taking care of myself, because I always have a camera on my face and on my body. I notice that when I'm really taking care of myself and really loving myself and in a good place emotionally, my body and my face start to look awesome. So yeah, do it even when you're doing like your self-care rituals, like, you know, putting on makeup, getting yourself dressed. That is a form of magic. It's a magic spell. It's glamour magic. It's a ritual. You're basically pouring energy into yourself. So, you know, if you're doing your makeup and you're saying, oh God, I look like shit, this doesn't, oh, why are my eyes, oh gosh, I've got these hooded eyes and they're so annoying, and you're going to look like shit at the end of the day when you finish doing your makeup. Whereas if you actually learn how to do it properly in a way that actually suits you and your features and your complexion, then when you're doing it, you'll be looking at yourself and being like, yeah, I'm a fucking badass, I look so sexy, and you'll start to convey that energy, and other people will feel it. They will read that from you, and that is what is attractive. That is what people find beautiful. It's your radiance, it's your magnetism, it's the life force that animates your body. It's not just, you know, how you look, but you'll find that if you do that, you will actually start to look different. So yeah, that's it. Like, that's all I want to say on that. I thought that I would share that with people because it's something that I've observed over like the last 15 years in this industry, and it's something that I wish more people knew, because then they would stop comparing themselves to like these Instagram models and these, you know, these fashion models that they see online, who they don't, you know, you don't even realize how insecure these people are. And I really wish that you did, because if you did, you would stop feeling bad about yourself, or you would feel a lot less bad about yourself knowing that they are constantly also playing the comparison game, which is why they constantly need to post those photos to validate themselves. So yeah, that's it. And if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to ask them in the comment box below. As always, I'm available for sessions. You can just DM me on Instagram if you would like to book a session with me. I will love you and leave you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out. One love.
You're introduced to LSD, and unless you've taken some other drug, like for instance like marijuana or something, well, you know, it's an altogether new thing, and